We're back.
Back to break it down.
What is there to break down? That is the question, isn't it?
Well, not a lot. Such a wicked build-up. Well, let's be honest. Let's say it how it is. It put a lot of the UFCs and the mainstream boxing to shame with the build-up. Last week was fucking brilliant.
28 billion impressions or something overall.
Unbelievable all week, wasn't it? The press conference was good. Like the press day, the open workout. You had Mike Perry and Idris Virgo drama. You know, Dillon was causing shit all weekend. Smashed him in the face with a microphone.
That was his best shot.
Yeah, his only shot. You know, even like KSI and Tommy, like you've seen Big John nut in the panel, KSI spitting at him. You know, seen Tommy like emotionally invested, which you don't ever see. And then you get the fight.
Okay, unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, that Logan and Dillon fight, to me, it's just baffling. I don't think he must have just been afraid of getting knocked out. Do you think that was part
I'm looking
of it?
at it, right? There's two ways to look at it. Obviously, Dillon was dog shit when let's say it how it is. He was fucking terrible. But I don't think we can put all the blame on Dillon because Logan didn't do a lot either. Like, he gave all this talk in the build-up, I'm going to decapitate him, and he had a chance to defend his missus honor, like you were saying. And what did he really do? I mean, he threw one big flurry. I think it was in round 3 or 4. We hit him with about a 15-20 punch combo. And all I've heard from Logan the last 6 months, I'm a good boxer and I've trained 2 years, just I haven't fought, I've been flat out. And it's like, you fought a jiu-jitsu guy. He's not an MMA fighter, really, if we're being honest. He had 2 MMA fights on Bellator against bums. You fought a jiu-jitsu guy, not known for his striking, who's probably should fight at 170 and have fought at 195, and you couldn't do nothing either.
He should have realistically finished. If someone's not punching you back, you should be able to finish them.
I'm not saying let's all jump on the Dillon train. Dillon was crap as well. Like, Dillon didn't make a fight of it, did he? He stood there with his hands up for the most part. But what did Logan do?
Yeah, I know. Who's going to touch Dillon now? That's what I want to know.
You know, and he's talking about after Logan. I had to say I forgive him because he was only going to fight and not fight emotionally. It's like, yeah, but you probably, if you fought emotionally, you probably would have knocked him out. Like, put it this way: you put Jake Paul in there with Dillon Danis. Jake Paul's fucking starching him in probably 3 rounds, and I mean that. Logan, like Darren Till just said it best on Ariel. He's like, you fought a jiu-jitsu guy who can't box. Can't do really anything, and you know, Logan obviously can't punch as hard as Jake. He's a big, athletic, strong guy, not saying, but he also hasn't got punching power because I believe Jake Paul would have started Dillon out cold, and I mean out cold, because old Dillon Dunn would stand there with his hands up, no head movement, no slipping and rolling. The best part of the fight was when he tried to guillotine him and take him down, and then started fighting with the security. That was the best part of the fight.
That was the biggest punch he thrown, wasn't it? Was that the security? He still missed.
And you know, Logan did what he had to do. He clearly won the fight. He won every round before the DQ. But at the same time, it's like, this guy disrespected your missus for months. And that was kind of, that was it.
I don't think any of them are coming away from this looking good, are they?
None of them. Not one of them. I mean, just to stay on that fight for a minute, both of their stock has gone down in terms of boxing. No one is going to want to fucking fight. No one's going to have Dillon Danis in to fight again. No, as good as he was in the build-up, you can do all that again now next time. No one's going to tune in to watch him after watching the fight. And Logan's stock, I think his stock went up a bit when he went the distance in Mayweather, whereas this fight, it's like, well, you fought a jiu-jitsu guy and then...
It just shows how much Mayweather toyed with him though, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course
really,
it does.
After you see something like that.
And it's like, what... He didn't really do nothing, did he? Let's just say how it is. He didn't do anything. He popped him with a couple of jabs. All right, he didn't get punched, but like... I think if Logan fought Jake Paul, Jake would fucking toy with Logan. Oh, yeah. I think Tommy would toy with Logan. Yeah, I mean, look, Dillon knew he was... We knew Dillon was never going to go in and outbox him, but we kind of had our hopes up, didn't we, a little bit, that animosity would get the better of the two and they would stand and bang it out for the fans, but it was far from it.
Yeah, it was a shame, really. I would have liked to have seen a lot more from Dillon. I mean, that would have made a bit more of a fight of it, but I just think he must have just been afraid of getting knocked out.
He didn't want to become a meme, did he? He didn't want to become a meme. That's what it was. He didn't want to get starched. He didn't want to become a meme. It was a moral victory that he didn't get knocked out.
Well, that's sad, though, isn't it? When you claim to be a fighter and...
But then on the same thing, you telling me after 3 rounds, Logan must have sussed him and thought he doesn't know how to punch properly. He's not really hitting with no power. He's not really throwing anything. I don't know if he was scared of gas in the wall, but to me, if I was Logan, I'd be thinking, right, he's not doing anything here. Like, all right, he might be luring me in to try and counter me, but he obviously can't box very well. I would have just gone for fucking broke and tried to lamp his head off, because he's not throwing nothing back.
Especially like, the last 30 of each round or something.
Even if he gassed himself out in round 4, it's like you've won 4 rounds. Like you could do the same back. You could cover up for the next 2 rounds. He's not big enough to hurt you. And same for Dillon. Like, what was his logic? You've lost like the first 4 rounds. So what's the logic? Let's do the same thing in the 5th and the 6th. At least like risk it a little bit and plant your feet and have a go. And if you get pinged and rocked, then try and take him down and guillotine him. Like, you can't even fucking guillotine him properly. Like, at least when Nate Diaz put Jake Paul in a guillotine, he could, if he could have put him to sleep if he wanted. Dillon, he went for a guillotine and slipped off, and Logan's just like dropped the hammer fist on him, and it's like, I don't know, what a shit show, to be honest. That was bad. I mean, I thought it can't get much worse than this. Fucking terrible. Here we go. I remember thinking, well, I don't think KSI is gonna run like Dillon. I think he's gonna have a go, and then for me, the main event was probably worse than the main event.
It was just
the main event was probably worse than the co-main.
It was just the same thing over and over and over again. It was just literally, if you watched the first 10 seconds of the fight, you watched the whole fight pretty much.
I don't think I could ever watch that fight back.
No.
I don't know how these managed to even make highlight reels from it. Like, at least in the Dillon and the Logan fight, like, Dillon didn't do enough, but at least Logan kind of was throwing a jab a little bit. Like, this is how Tommy Fury and KSI went. Tommy Fury comes forward, moving his head, tries to pop a jab. KSI throws a shitty 1-2, clinch. And the ref was horrendous.
Yeah.
How the ref didn't fucking get hold of it, I don't know, because the ref was letting them work in the clinch, but neither of them was working in the clinch. So how was the ref not saying, right, stop, break, go again? And how was he not... Number one, he should have been warning KSI, because he was just throwing a 1-2 and clinch in. Then he should have been warning Tommy, saying, if you're going to stay in the clinch, you've got to work in the clinch. It's as if Tommy Fury's a pro boxer, and it's like, he didn't know how to work on the inside. He's got a good jab, in all fairness to him. Couldn't get the jab going, because all KSI was doing that fucking stupid kickboxing stance. Like, 1-2 and clinch, so he couldn't get the jab going. So, like, as a pro boxer, Tommy should be probably thinking, right, as he comes inside now, I'm gonna work him over on the inside. Like, you put a British level, a British champion level, someone like Liam Williams. Put Liam Williams in against KSI with that style. It won't make a fucking blind bit of difference. No. He let him go for the clinch and he beat the living piss out of him on the inside. And Liam Williams is obviously well above British title level, well above Tommy Fury, I'm not saying. But what I'm saying is, if Tommy Fury knows how to box and has boxed all his life like he's saying, he should be disposing of a guy like KSI. Because I honestly think Jake Paul knocked KSI out. And I know Jake Paul... It's weird because Tommy beat Jake Paul easier than he beat KSI, but it's like, fucking hell, what a dreadful... Like, who's going to want to watch... Unless it's against Jake Paul, who's going to want to watch KSI fight again?
Yeah, no one really, are they?
Jake Paul's probably watching it thinking, I'd rather take my chances against Tommy again than that, because that doesn't... That, like... Anyone with half a brain watching that fight is not going to pay to watch either one of them next time. They're going to have to really work to bring some promo in, because such a frustrating fight. Like, KSI's coming up with the MVP style, and it's like, mate, MVP has done that since he was fucking 5 years of age, so he can do it. Like, you've been doing this 6 months. What did he really think that this fucking side-on butterfly, whatever he was doing, was going to, like...
Who's, like, in the gym, do you think, like... orchestrating that, thinking that's a good idea?
Well, he comes from the London Shoot Fighters camp, and they're a really, really good MMA gym. I think they've probably put more British guys in the UFC than any other gym in the UK. London Shoot Fighters, the MVP is their most well-known, biggest star, and that style obviously works for him. But that style is MVP's background in kickboxing, and it's worked against non-boxers, haven't it? Because they've just kind of like lifted their head back and got pinged, whereas like Tommy Fury obviously knows enough where like he's dipping the head as he's thrown out over, and they're just clinching up. It's like shocking refereeing, really bad refereeing, but really bad fight as well. Like, there's not a lot else to talk about on it. I can't even break it down and be like, Tommy did this well and should have done this. It's like, it was just a fucking horrendous fight. I mean, Tommy, realistically on paper, should have starched him, shouldn't he?
He should have, yeah.
He should have starched him. I think Jake Paul would starch him. I
think just because he's got that dog in him, I think he would have actually had a go at trying to fight him. Like,
he would have met fire with fire and tried to court him on the way in or tried to knock him out on the inside. And as I think Tommy Fury's probably a better boxer than Jake Paul. I don't think he's got one punch power.
Yeah, I'm no fight. I obviously not a fighter, but looking at it, like he did the same thing for 6 rounds. Like Tommy could have read that. Surely it's
a good boxer would have read it, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Like again, a Liam Williams or there's no one else really in Wales that size. But like going back, let's just stick with Liam then, for example, or Gavin Gwynn or someone like that, or Reece Edwards. After a round, they would have read, right, he's throwing a 1-2 and he's looking for the clinch. So they would no doubt would have recognised that I'm not just going to be able to keep jabbing him. I'm going to crack him with something on the way in. Or as he gets in close and the ref's trying to I'm going to bust him up the body and try and come upstairs. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know what to say.
It was so much better watching like the amateur MMA than watching that. Like much more
like Samurai Fight Night on a weekend. You're talking 18, 19-year-old amateurs of a better standard than what I was, and would probably box half of their heads off, you know. Honest opinion, Tommy Fury needs to stay in the YouTube crossover realm. Harsh to say, and easy for me to say because I'm not a boxer, but I don't think that he's going to sort of achieve world and British title honours in the pro ranks. I just don't think he's of that level. And in all fairness to him, to give him a positive, he probably made the best part of 5 million doing that on a weekend. He's not going to get that fighting for a British title against Vidali in the York Hall. Do you know what I mean?
Why would you even bother?
And why do it? Yeah, exactly. Why do it? He's
no disrespect to him. It's all like if he can go and earn millions doing that and win, why would you go and fight a real boxer who's got the potential of like starching you?
It puts Misfits boxing, I think, in a spot these last 2 fights. I think they're almost forced now to make the Mike Perry Darren Till fight because these YouTubers got massive followings and people, and I haven't watched the undercard, but I heard the undercard was pretty good, in all fairness. That Salt Pappy and Slim, I heard that was a banger. But who's really, other than their hardcore followers, who's really going to, like, the general fan, who's really going to tune in now to watch KSI fight or to watch Tommy fight or to even watch Logan or Dillon's not going to fight again. Dillon having 4 years off, but they're almost forced to make the Darren. They got to get Darren Till. They got to get a real fighter involved now, and they got to get a Darren Till and a Mike Perry who are going to meet in the middle and bang it out for 6-8 rounds, whatever it be. Or they've got to put a Mike Perry in with a Logan Paul. They kind of got to make a fight like that now because they've got
to stack the odds against them. Almost,
I think it was Carl Frotz or someone this week was saying that this could well be the end of the YouTube boxing scene because it was such an anticlimax. To be fair to all the other events like your Jake Paul and Nate, your Jake Paul and Tommy, even your Jake Paul Anderson Silva, even Tommy and Jake Paul, and even some of KSI's last couple of fights. There's been the mental build-up, and we've had at least some sort of highlight from the fight. You know what I mean? Like the Nate, you got the guillotine, Jake knocked him down. The Tommy Fury and Jake fight was a little bit lackluster, but Jake knocks him down in the 7th round. There's a bit of controversy there. There was none of that this time. It was just
KSI dropped Fournier with the elbow.
Yeah, it was
like even that is like something in it to go off.
There's something to build the next show off. Whereas this was just it was poor, wasn't it? It was really poor, and they're gonna have to pull out their ass in the next fight, in the next event, to make it a big one, in my opinion. But
drop a comment below. Let us know who you thought won that last fight. Because
who did you think won it?
I thought KSI won it by the time it was done, to be honest.
I can't stand KSI.
Yeah.
But I thought he won it.
I thought he landed more shots, just even if they weren't...
I thought it was probably 3-3, if not... Was it 6 rounds? It was 6 rounds. Yeah, it's probably 3-3, maybe even 4-2 to KSI, and the point deduction. KSI didn't do a fucking lot, but Tommy kind of done even less. Like, at least... Well, I can't even say at least. He didn't, and neither of them done nothing. Like, you can't argue it either way. But I going into the announcement, I said to my miss, I said, I think KSI have done this. But
I thought he'd done it, especially being like, obviously they're not biased, but being on his show, I thought this is it. They're going to give him the nod.
Which would have set up a massive fight between him and Jake Paul then.
Yeah, but fair play, like I suppose to the judges in some ways, they must have viewed it the way they viewed it. And
yeah, maybe they viewed the clinching as a negative from him, I don't know, but... yeah, whatever. It is what it is. Hopefully we get down to Mike Perry next, or we get Jake Paul against one of the two in the main event. I think at least with Jake Paul, he can box to an extent. I'm not that Tommy can't box, but he got that punching power where like you're kind of in the fight thinking just land one and give us a bit of something. Whereas obviously with Tommy and KSI just didn't really look like there was ever going to be any sort of drama in the fight, did it?
Nah, he's going to make a fight of it, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, let us know who you fought when. Let us know what you fought on the event. I wasn't impressed, and I'm not an hater on these crossover fights. I quite enjoy them sometimes. I've watched pretty much all the Jake Paul ones, watched the Logan Mayweather. So it's not like I'm against them, but like, yeah, that one was poor.